Alphas talk, betas walk.
Welcome aboard! Episode 4, Friday, February 6th. We got a loaded show for you guys. It's Super Bowl week and we are jacked. Introducing my co-host. We got Corporal, aka Corp the Prowler. What's going on, Corp?
How's it going, Shawnee D?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. And then we got young Richard, the King. What's the word, King?
Oh, just still making them winning picks. What's going on, Mr. Dunn Diesel?
Man, it is Super Bowl week, boys. We are 2 days away now. The anticipation really gets real in the second week, right? So you come off the high of the conference title games and you're like, let's go. And then they make us wait a full extra week for football. So you sort of go through that lull, right? Like you're excited for the Super Bowl, but it's not exactly real close. And then you hit the week 2 and the days start, the countdown begins. The days are getting closer and you're like, let's go, regardless of the matchup. But I'm excited about this one. You guys excited for the game?
Very excited. I think this is a great matchup.
These are two real football teams.
Yeah, just all around. I mean, defense, offense, quarterbacks.
Yeah, like the Denver Patriots game and the championship game, like wasn't super excited for that because of the Bo Nix injury, but both teams are healthy. Both teams can score. Both teams got really good defenses. Like, I expect to see a really good football game. And then I think one of the things I'm most excited about is we don't have, like, the Chiefs fatigue, right? Like, we haven't had to see Mahomes and Kelsey and all the media coverage and the Taylor Swift stories and the flashes to her at the, like, that's been great. That's been great not having to deal with that, at least for me. I don't know where you guys stand
Absolutely.
on that. But, man, I was definitely Chiefs fatigue, Kelsey fatigue, Taylor Swift fatigue.
Yeah, you don't have to wait for the one of the prop bets to say, "Oh, how many times are they going to show Taylor Swift up on the fucking screen?"
Right, or we don't have to, like, is this Travis Kelsey's last game? Is he going to retire? Is he going to go out on? It's like, yeah, man, that's been nice. That has been nice. So just to bring the listeners back up to speed, how we sort of run things around here, we start off with our Degens on sports. The first topic we hit on there is our Around the League, the biggest news of the week in sports, in our opinions. And I am super excited to jump in. Anything you guys want to touch on before we rock and roll?
No,
Let's do it.
Ready to rock.
News of the week.
Boys, I am going to kick us off. The majority of our show today is going to be Super Bowl themed, Super Bowl focused, because why the hell would it not be, right? It is the biggest game in the world. It is the biggest story in all of sports. It's what's on our mind. It's what matters to the people, and it's what we're going to talk about. So my Around the League topic this week, boys, is the Battle of the Mikes. So we got Vrabel versus McDonald on Sunday. And the thing that I want to know is, what coach do you think gives their team a better chance to win the game on Sunday? And then follow-up wise, which coach would you rather have moving forward? And it's perfectly fine if those two answers are not the same. But that is the thing that I think that's one of the most interesting storylines of the week leading into the game. We got two young coaches quick turnarounds. McDonald's got the Hawks in the title game in year 2. Vrabel's got the Pats in the title game in year 1. I think most teams would love to have these guys. But who you got? Vrabel or Mac?
Well, just kind of breaking it down from a peripheral standpoint, you got Vrabel coming in back to his home team there, and really a leader of men. And McDonald has the upbringing under the Harbaughs. He's got some great coaching tutelage to finally get his head coaching job and do what he's done, getting away. The moves in the offseason of getting rid of Metcalf and Lockett, moving some of these guys around so that way he is the voice in the locker room. I think both these guys are leaders of men. I think both were very high coached this year, willing to go for it, willing not to go for it, kicking field goals, not kicking field goals. They made a lot of good in-game decisions. They have a lot of good talent around them, and they utilize that correctly. Both of them have very good offensive coordinators. And they focus on the defense primarily. McDonald is still young in his coaching tenure compared to Vrabel. I watched Vrabel do what I thought was impossible with Tennessee time and time again. 90 guys missing on the injury report, and he's still out there, and these guys are playing hard for him. And he's showing up and winning games. He was constantly somebody you wanted to bet on, to take the points with the Titans when he was there. And to give them a better chance, I think both these teams are going to be prepared going into this. And I think it's going to come down to the game of inches. And, going forward, I think I'm partial to Vrabel, knowing where he came from, what he can do, and the vision going forward. I really like Vrabel going forward, but that's not to put any shade on McDonald. He's got a good. He outkicked my coverage. He did way better than I thought he was going to do. And to see the turnaround of the team, the way the team is built, the locker room, the cohesiveness. Outside of last week, this team was really, you didn't see anything negative with a personnel thing. Last week we saw them kind of jawing at each other after a stupid penalty in the secondary. But this is something where these are going to be two premier coaches for years to come. If I had to be picking my guy to lead my team, I'm picking Vrabel. What do you think, Rick?
I think it's definitely going to be a really close game on Sunday. Who gives her a better chance to win? I mean, I think the spread's going to come into play. Me personally, I think I'm leaning towards the Pats, but and moving forward, I would choose Vrabel, just like you said, over experience, and not to go down on McDonald or anything, talk down on him. I just think Vrabel's got the more experience, and I would definitely go with Vrabel moving forward.
Yeah, so I'm honestly super surprised here, boys. I thought I would maybe even potentially be on an island. And it pains me to say this because this is an Ohio State versus Michigan matchup. But the answer to both is Vrabel. And my thought process is this. I think Vrabel did more with less than McDonald did overall. So when we're talking about this year, so you look at the Pats. They've won 17 games this year, including the playoffs. That's more than they've won the last 3 seasons combined, which is 16 games. So the level of turnaround is remarkable. The other thing that you guys leaned into is Vrabel is just more battle tested. And I think in big games, when it could come down to one key call, you want to lean on that guy who's been in those moments as a player and as a coach. So he has the experience. He's not gonna balk. He's not gonna do something out of character. He's gonna stick to the plan and execute and put his team in the best position to win. I'm a big Mike McDonald guy, but we haven't seen McDonald in a pressure cooker where it comes down to, does he take the 3 points here? Does he kick the field goal? What does he do in a late critical fourth quarter situation? So there's just more unknowns. And I think when you look at it overall in terms of the game, there's just a better chance McDonald makes a dumb decision than Vrabel. So in terms of who gives their team a better chance to win on Sunday, I think it's Vrabel because I think he's going to be more predictable. He's more battle tested. We know what to expect. Now, the question of moving forward, again, the answer is Vrabel, but for a few different reasons specifically for me. So the defense is only going to get better because I don't think New England has a ton of stud pieces. I think this is not a star-laden defense, but they assumed Vrabel's identity. It's a tough physical defense. The arrow's only pointing up as they add more pieces through the draft and potentially free agency. So I think they got less in place currently with Seattle, and the fact that their defense played as well as it did, huge testament to Braves. This is the real big one, though. Corporal mentioned the offensive coordinators. Josh McDaniel is not going anywhere, right? We saw that play out twice as a head coach. It was a disaster in Denver. It was a disaster for the Raiders. The NFL teams will give you a second chance, but they're a lot more reluctant to give you a third chance. McDaniels hasn't had success anywhere outside of New England, and I think that's huge for Vrabel moving forward because his offensive coordinator is probably not going to get poached, and they can continue to build that continuity with Drake May and have that arrow continue to soar up. So I think that is one of the main factors with Vrabel over McDonald moving forward because the reality is Kubiak's already gone. Kubiak is gone to Vegas. And that Seattle offense could easily regress in 2026. And we'll see. We'll see, right? How much of it was McDonald, how much of it was Kubiak on the offensive side of the ball. But the stability with McDaniel probably not getting another head coaching opportunity, at least not anytime in the next 3 to 4 years. That's huge. That's huge for Vrabel. The other underrated part, and it doesn't matter as much, but it does matter, is ownership, right? So Bob Kraft, the Kraft family in general, probably the best owner in all of sports. Just his commitment to winning, his commitment to the team. He's not going to sell. When he does kick the bucket, his son's going to take over. His son's not going to sell. He's going to continue to run it like his dad. And they run it for passion. They're not running it for cash. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, the Seahawks are listed for sale right now. So you just never know what a new ownership group could bring. So just overall, for the reason of stability for all the different areas that I talked about, it's Vrabel. And my hot take is if the Patriots get it done this Sunday, everyone better brace themselves for more Patriots fatigue because this is the start of yet another Patriots dynasty. The Vrabel May dynasty. And they will win another 2 titles at least in the next 5 seasons. And we could this could be Belichick Brady part 2. I'm joking a little bit there, but I really believe this is the start of a dynasty.
Okay.
All right. I like that. So moving on to the second topic here. Thursday night, we had the 2025 award ceremony for the NFL. Took place, and the awards were passed out. And, 3 of them come to mind. You have the MVP, Stafford over May, Coach of the Year, Vrabel over Cohen, and the Offensive Player of the Year, JSN over Puka. Did the voters get it right?
Absolutely, they got it right. They 100% got it right. I mean, Stafford was, number one in touchdowns, number one in passing yards, even though I can't stand the guy anymore, and I'm glad that he's gone. Just me. I have Stafford hate forever, and it'll be that way until he retires. But so I guess there is a little bias there. But I mean, even though
What did he do to you, Rick? Why do you hate Matthew Stafford that bad? Is it because he goes by Matthew instead of Matt?
well, his name is actually John. It's not even Matthew. Don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that, but I also do not have the level of hatred that you have for him.
But and absolutely the coach of the year with Vrabel, and then Jackson Smith and Jigba over Puka. I definitely think they got that right too, because I mean, obviously, stats wise, he was better, and Puka also missed a few games. And then what's that?
I was getting ready to jump in there, and it's just like I did not think this was gonna go how it's gone so far. So just so the listeners know, like we have our topics and stuff, but we prepare on our own so that we can have a real genuine conversation, and it's just not scripted. So I don't know what these other guys' answers are going to be to these topics, and we've been pretty lockstep so far. So yeah, I got to back up Rick. I mean, I do think the voters got it right. So for as bad as the Hall of Fame voting was, not putting Belichick in, I thought they nailed the awards. These three were definitely the closest, most contested battles. I don't think you could have went wrong either way. Like I would not have been outraged if May won MVP or Cohen won Coach of the Year or Puka won Offensive Player of the Year. Like I honestly think they could have went either way, but I think they made the right choice. When you look at MVP, Stafford had 15 more tutties and 300 more yards than May, and they each only had 8 picks. So just statistically, he was just that much better. Coach of the Year, Vrabel over Cohen. They were both 4-13 the year prior. Vrabel led the Pats to one more win. Obviously, took them deeper in the playoffs. I know the voting happens before then, but if you voted for Vrabel, you were validated by this playoff run. But the Pats only had 8 wins the last 2 seasons, and they hadn't been in the playoffs since 2021. The Jags were 9-8 in both 2022 and 2023 before they fell off a cliff in 2024. So I think they just had more overall talent on the roster. And then Sunshine just is an overall more experienced quarterback than Drake May. He's been in the league longer. So that turnaround was great. Like I think Cohen did a great job, but it wasn't as extreme of a situation that Vrabel stepped into. And then the JSN over Puka one was as simple for me as that JSN just did it with less. So he had a worse quarterback. Stafford's better than Darnold, and he had a worse supporting cast in terms of like taking defensive pressure off him. So his wide receiver 2 was Cooper Kupp, and Puka had the benefit of having Devontae Adams on the other side of the field, who's a great receiver in his own right. So I just think JSN was the focal point of the defense every single week, every single snap, and he still put up slightly better numbers than Puka. So yeah, overall, I think they got it right.
Yeah, there's a lot of good takes. You took a lot of my points that I was going to say. I was really rooting for May, and down the stretch, they were going back and forth. Every week, the favorite would change. And just down the stretch, Stafford outperformed May from a statistical standpoint over and over again. And it really was, you just look at the numbers in the spreadsheet, and there's no arguing that Stafford should have been the MVP. Now, going forward, I don't expect him to have those same numbers next year. He did announce that he's not retiring, and, good for the NFL that we get him for another year. But I don't expect that same level of statistical input from Stafford. It will be somebody different. MVP is a lot to do with your overall record and then your statistics combined with that. So they got it right. I wanted it to be May. My pocket's a little bit lighter because of that. Coach of the Year, Vrabel definitely hit the mark with what typically happens. A team subpar the year before, below 5 wins, that does up and above, makes the playoffs, wins the division, does something good enough to put it on the coach where the defense is getting touted, not just the quarterback. And I think the two things you're not going to see Vrabel and May both win the awards. And so they start to take away from each other. And so Vrabel getting the knock for the coach of the year, I think makes sense because May didn't win the MVP. JSN and Puka goes back down to the stretch as they're playing these games in prime time, and Puka makes a drop. He doesn't get out of bounds. These small plays that are left on the voter's mind where JSN is making the catch in the back of the end zone. He's catching the ball 5 feet out of the back of the end zone, but he's jumping out of the room, and he's making these plays. He's going into the year, everybody was saying he was the slot merchant, but he is not just the slot merchant. This guy is good. He is the best receiver in the game. The guy can do it all. I'm scared to say the offensive coordinator needs to be there, but as long as they utilize JSN and get him the ball, this guy's going to be doing things that we're watching on highlight reels for a long time to come. So looking at this from that same perspective, a couple of betting angles I got is one we didn't talk about was the comeback player of the year. CMC had that locked up, and that's why he didn't win offensive player of the year, not even in the running really with JSN. But coming out of as soon as they post these numbers, I'm betting on Mahomes to win comeback player of the year. There's no doubt that he's going to be the lead runner for that. My coach of the year take is going to be Saleh. He's got a team that everybody views as bad. If they make the playoffs, he's almost a lock to win that award, and that should be a good payoff for that. MVP, I'm going to do a little bit more research on that. It's going to be a quarterback. It's going to be somebody that's going to be on a mid-tier team. My first inkling is Goff, because then we can bounce back and they can be something. But there's going to be somebody in that tier of quarterback that gets pushed to be better, takes his team to the 1 seed. When CJ Stroud came out, everybody thought it was going to be him in his second year. I don't think that's the guy, but it's going to be somebody that we're not thinking about that's leading this award market next year. My hot take is really going to be that JSN is that good, and he is going to win back-to-back Offensive Player of the Year awards, joining the likes of Marshall Faulk. This is a very limited thing to win back-to-back years, and I think JSN has the talent, the ability, and with a Darnold there at quarterback, giving him some consistency, even with the change at offensive coordinator, I think JSN wins it back-to-back years.
Spicy.
Did you guys ever think we would be at a point where we're saying with a Darnold at quarterback, which is the perfect segment to our next topic? What do you got for us, Richard?
Absolutely. Sam Darnold, the guy that's known to always turn into a pumpkin or shit himself. He's overcome the doubters at being the cast-off, being on his 5th team after last year taking the Vikings to a 15-2 record. Now, my question is Darnold a top 10 quarterback moving forward?
And my answer is absolutely fucking not. So I think we might jump into the first time that we get a little bit differing opinions, which is good. Let's duke it out. So I think it's pretty evident. We're on our 4th show. Darnold's came up in at least 2 of the shows prior. He's obviously a huge focal point of the show today. I am still not sold on Sam Darnold. I am just not there yet, boys. I think it's a great story. I think it's a feel-good story. Even though he was a super high recruit out of high school into college at USC, even though he was a super high draft pick and handed the keys to the franchise with the Jets, it feels like an underdog story because he was cast off, written off, and doubted so many times. So everyone loves a good underdog story. I'm not cold-hearted in that aspect. I like a good underdog story. I'm just not a believer. I'm not there yet. When you look at it this year, he only threw for 25 touchdowns this year. He threw 14 picks, 3rd most in the league. Overall, I think he has drastically improved. I think he is a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL, but I still think he's a game manager. He's a guy that's benefited from having one of the best defenses in the league. He's a guy that has benefited from going from Justin Jefferson to Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's a guy that has had a dynamite offensive coordinator this year in Kubiak and a dynamite play caller the year prior in Kevin O'Connell. And he's had a strong run game at both of the last two stops. When I look at top 10, these are just guys in no order when I was going through this earlier that I think are definitively 100% without a shadow of a doubt better than Darnold. Josh Allen, Drake May, Matt Stafford, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, Pat Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and Jalen Hurts. So that's 9 for sure that I don't think are debatable. Then you move into like the next tier, and I came up with 6 more that I would still take over him. So I'm still taking Dak. I'm still taking Baker, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Sunshine Lawrence, and Bo Nix. And I know those are a lot more debatable, and I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. So I do think he's came a long way. I think he's in the top 15 range, but there is not a snowball's chance in hell he's top 10.
Yeah, I mean, he's right there on the cusp of being – he can't be in the top 9. And you named him off, and those are – I agree 100% with you that those 9 are hands down better than him. He does have the story, the narrative, that makes you feel good that this guy can go from seeing ghosts to being Ghostbusted. And this is one of those things that, you know, from a standpoint of he could be a Super Bowl winner on Sunday. And it doesn't mean that he's a top 10 quarterback. He's a leader of the quarterback, but I don't know that he's capable of repeating this over and over again. And consistency is the thing of a professional, and you got to be able to perform under the lights every time your number's called. He's played with poise. He's played with a chip on his shoulder. What happens when he's the hunted? What happens when he's the one that everybody's coming after? They know how to beat him. They got all the film tape, everything. Is he going to be able to rise above, expand his game, be better, or is he just going to crumble? There are definitely comparisons to the times of like when Brady was younger, where Brady's just a game manager. He's just this. So like, you don't have to be Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen to be the top 10 quarterback. But from a fantasy standpoint, I'm not taking him as a top 10 quarterback, top 12 quarterback. In Dynasty, I'm not rushing out to trade for him. He's not somebody that is counted on week to week to put up those numbers. They put up big numbers against bad teams, and when they were pushed to score, when their defense got scored on, they were able to counterpunch. I mean, they're deserving to be in the Super Bowl, so let's not take that away from him. But when we're talking top 10, this guy's just not it for me.
Like I said, last year, taking the Vikings to a 15-2 record, proving himself, and then they let him walk, didn't pay him. You know, like you guys mentioned too, you know, it's one of the best stories in the NFL the last 10 to 15 years. And to answer my question, is Darnold a top 10 quarterback moving forward? And my hot take, the answer is yes. And Sam will be back in the Super Bowl within the next 3 years. Sam the Trojan Horse, the first USC quarterback.
Boo! No, that might be the first negative thing anyone has said to Sam Darnold all year. So I hope he can take it, but we'll see. We will see. I could be wrong. And I respect you. I respect you for having the balls to say that Sam has arrived.
He's got one more ghost to bust.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I don't think anyone, I won't be surprised if Darnold plays well Sunday and they win the Super Bowl. I just don't think he is elite. I think he is a a good starting caliber quarterback in the NFL. But when you start stacking Super Bowls, that's what matters. Super Bowls over overinflated regular season stats all day long, boys. All right, and our last topic. We said we are going to include a local topic each week. This is a Michigan-based podcast. So we're going to talk Detroit sports. We're going to talk Michigan football, Michigan basketball. Might even be forced to talk a little bit Michigan State if they go on a run. That will be a gun to our head type deal. But our topic this week locally is the Tigers made a splash signing. They signed Framber Valdez, the starting pitcher from the Houston Astros. Very good left-hander, which they were lacking in the starting rotation. 3 years, $115 million. So they paid up for him. It is a little shorter term of a contract, but they spent some cash. Are the Tigers now the favorite to win the American League? And the reason I don't phrase this as the World Series is because until the Dodgers lose, until the Dodgers have like 2 major injuries or just don't look the same, they're going to be the favorite to win the World Series until further notice. But are the Tigers the favorite to win the American League, boys?
Well, not according to BetMGM, but I do think that they are a favorable bet. You can get them for plus 1,000 to win the American League, plus 2,500 to win the World Series. Where I think the angle is that is an actionable bet is to win a division at plus 125. Get yourself some plus money. Maybe even parlay that with the Super Bowl Sunday on your selection, on your pick, and then that way you got a bigger payout towards the end of the October when the Tigers are around. It's I love to see it. I love to see that they're willing to spend some money, put some effort into getting some talent here. Baseball is just such a long season that once we approach July 4th and we keep moving, those are when I really start to think about the World Series, the end of the year things. But by that time, some of these numbers are vanished, and you're not going to get to it. So if you really think that they got a chance to win the American League, I would jump on that plus 1,000 right now and get yourself, a little piece of the Tigers to be rooting. Eat them up, Tigers! Eat them up.
I think the division is a stone cold lock. Like barring a catastrophic injury to like Scoob or something, dude, they're gonna win the division. I mean, it took one of the worst choke jobs of all time not to win the division. So I really
The worst
like that recommendation. So, what do you think, Rick? Are the Tigers favorites?
My answer is no, because they still haven't done anything with their offense. Sure, you can say McGonagall is going to come up, but those guys were going to come up last year, and then they still made nothing. Finally, fucking Scott Harris's balls dropped. It's about damn time that he spent some money and did something. But these other signings that he's made, they're still the same shit that he did the first year. It's all washed up 35-plus-year-olds. You signed, what's his name, the old Dodgers reliever, but he's like, 38, 39? And then the other guy they signed from, I think, Korea or something, he hasn't pitched in Major League Baseball in like 3 years. And then their top 2 hitters can't hit left-handers. And, what's going to happen when they get in the big game again? Are they going to pinch hit for Riley Green because he can't hit for shit? Unless they make upgrades to the offense, will they win the Central? Yes, I think that's an easy bet because the Central fucking blows and is embarrassing.
I feel the frustration pouring out of Rick there, which is good to see. You guys know where I stand on Chris Ilitch. Like, I think Chris Ilitch is a dog shit owner. I think he runs the team for profit instead of passion, and those aren't the guys you want running your organization, owning your squad. I think Scott Harris is pretty handcuffed, and obviously he can't say that publicly because if he hasn't been handcuffed, then some of the moves or lack thereof would be complete head scratchers, and I would be questioning his competency. So in my mind, I'm going to choose to believe that he's handcuffed by cheap-ass Chris Ilitch. But I am going out and going to make the bold-ass claim that I think the Tigers are now the favorite to win the American League. I think this signing, with what they've done with shoring up the bullpen, allows them to take that next step. And it's not that far of a leap, boys. So they were in Game 5 of the ALDS last year that went 16 innings. So they were a play or two away from going to the ALCS. They were Skubal not being a pussy and coming out of the game in the 6th inning away from going to the ALCS. I think because they know there's not going to be any baseball in 2027, they will ride Skubal a little bit harder, especially late in the year. I think because they know that they're not going to re-sign him because Chris Ilitch is one of the cheapest owners in sports, that they will ride Skubal harder in the playoffs. They will push him towards those upper limits. And I do think Valdez is that good. So one of our major rotation issues, like I mentioned, is we didn't have a lefty in there. So now we have that 1-2 punch, that righty-lefty punch beyond Skubal, right? So we had Skubal and then all righties. So now we can mix and match. And even though Valdez will be your number 2, he probably won't pitch directly behind Skubal. So the Tigers will be able to feature a Skubal, Mize, and then Valdez, Flaherty, and then finish out the rotation with Melton or Olsen. So that's huge, guys. So when you look at baseball and the majority of the series are 3 or 4 game sets, when you can go righty-lefty, or different combinations, it forces players that have glaring splits to where they only hit righties well or they only hit lefties well. It forces them out of the lineup. And forcing them out of the lineup makes it harder for them to get rhythm day in, day out. So, an example. So, say I got a guy that just crushes right-handed pitching, but he can't hit lefties for shit. And when the Tigers came to town, they weren't lined up to face Skubal. Well, that guy knew that he was going to be in the lineup every day if Skubal wasn't in the rotation during their series. So now that you got Valdez, it just gives AJ Hinch so much more flexibility to play the righty-lefties and to disrupt the rhythm of the other teams, that I think it is a huge signing, one of the biggest signings that they could have made. One, because he's really good, and 2, because he's a lefty in a rotation that was all righties, minus Tarek. And then Kenley Jansen, he is old as shit, but he's still getting it done. He's still getting it done. So until his arm falls off or the ERA inflates, he's one of the most successful closers of all time. I'm going to trust the track record. And Father Time is undefeated, so one of these seasons he is going to fall off a cliff. I'm just praying to God it's not 2026. All right. Shifting into our next segment.
Gambling Gurus Weekend Bets.
The Gambling Gurus. We are here to help you get paid, to help you build that book, to help you ultimately look back on your ROI, your profit and loss at the end of the year, and see a lot of green. And we got some fun stuff for you this week when it comes down to the Gambling Gurus segment. So first and foremost, we want to give you a standings update. So last episode, we introduced the punishment. So the last place bettor on the pod is going to have to do a humiliating punishment that will be filmed and will be posted to all of our social media channels. And those standings are going to be based off intervals. Well, the unique thing about this first interval is it ends after this week. So we'll align those intervals with huge marquee moments throughout the sports season. And the first one is the Super Bowl. So this is the last chance to earn points for this interval before someone has to do a punishment. And when we take a look at the standings, Richard, the King, the Bear, Beach is still up top of the standings with 1 point. Even though he suffered his first loss on the pod last week, Richard took Hornets and Spurs over 224.5 at even money, and that was a loser. Dun Diesel got on the board with his first W. I guaranteed it. I knew it was going to happen. I told you to place the bet slips in, and it happened. Duke, Louisville, Houston, Clemson money line was minus 155 and cashed easy. Easy cash, boys. A no sweat cash. I move into second place with a half point and dragging up the rear and potentially staring down the barrel of the first punishment if he doesn't get it together this week. The Prowler, Justin Corporal, who is still sitting on Baltic with crack with 0 points. Corporal took BYU plus 4.5 last week at even money, and it was a loser. So that's where this stands. Every week, we are going to do a punishment suggestion and put it to a vote. If it gets the majority of the votes, so 2 votes being yes, it gets added into the potential punishment pool, which the first place winner of that segment will be able to pick from for the last place loser to have to do. I will kick us off, boys, with my punishment suggestion, and I think it's a good one. So my punishment suggestion is this. You have to drop in at a local pickup basketball game and demand you and your team go Skins. So not only do you have to demand you and your team go Skins, but you have to keep playing until you can convince the majority of your team to go Skins with you. So if it's a 4-man game, you need 2 other dudes at least willing to go Skins with you. So whatever the majority of those numbers are. I personally think it's hilarious. I could see people being there for a long time at their local like LA Fitness or something trying to convince guys and the other people being like, what the fuck is this dude's problem? So I'm obviously a yes. I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts and your vote.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can get away with it at a Anytime Fitness, but you give me a nice hot summer day where everybody's balling, and I'll go out there and get them to drop Skins. I'll convince them that this is actually an advantage like we used to back in the day.
So is that a yes for you?
Yeah, I'm voting yes.
Well, hey, this is supposed to be embarrassing. So, like, as we're spitballing this, should the caveat be it has to be done at an indoor pickup game? Because I think it's a lot more weird. It's a lot more weird at an indoor game.
Yeah, I think that would definitely make it better.
Because
like you said, it's more weird and just more funny, really. Because on a hot summer day, it's not really that big of a punishment.
And on a hot summer day, it's too easy of a sell, right? Like Corporal
Right.
said, you say, hey man, the sun's gonna beat down on us. We're gonna slide right off these guys, and plus it's hot. And the next thing you know, everyone's taking their shirt off. But when you try to make it happen indoors, it's gonna be more of a challenge and a lot more like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
So yeah, my vote's going to be yes as well.
Okay, and we're in for the indoor caveat, right? The indoor requirement.
Yes.
Okay. I love it.
All right. So my suggestion is going to be record a video outlining how awesome and praising the other podcasters. I think that's something where it's doable. It's something that we can post immediately. It can be done as far as actionability. It's something that doesn't take anything other than sitting down with your phone and saying all the nice things that you have to say about me and my other podcaster.
Now, is it just going to have to be just at home and just you by yourself, or are you going to have to go somewhere? Or
And we could add some caveats to it. It was just more or less one of those things that I think is an easy home run to do. And if you got to really embellish these and give it to me. I want to feel good after all these compliments.
okay,
I'll start us off. Even though I would enjoy this, like I would personally enjoy it, I think it's letting the loser off too easy. I think it's one of those things like yeah, the video's gonna be out there, but you just suck. There's not enough pain associated with it. Like the pain of loss isn't like you're not gonna feel that. That's gonna be like a check the box thing, and you're like, oh shit, it wasn't that bad that I lost that leg, that I came in
right.
last place with that leg. So for that reason, I'm a no. I'm a no for now. I think it's something that could be revisited with the right caveats, but I think it's like there would have to be a lot of layers to it for me to think it was painful enough.
Yeah, I'm going to
You're
vote.
the tiebreaker.
I'm going to vote no as well. I think just like you said, it would be the loser would be getting off too easy. Have to be something added to it to make it more embarrassing.
Yeah, I'm with you. So
another loss for Corporal.
Corporal just cannot get a win in this segment.
It's a no for me, dog.
It's a no for me, dog. All right, Rick, what do you got for us?
All right, so mine is going to be having to work a partial shift at a store like a Best Buy or Kroger or Walmart. You got to assist the customers, depending on what store you go to, collect carts, completing a checklist of duties in a time frame before you can leave the store.
That sounds miserable. I don't want to work for free.
Exactly, it sounds miserable and embarrassing. I mean, I could add that you have to record the whole thing. That would be even better.
Yeah, it sounds absolutely terrible. What type of time frame are we talking to? Are we talking 2 hours? Like what are we thinking? Because time frame is going to dictate my vote. I like it because I do think it is one of those things that sucks, and I think it would be super funny.
Yeah, I think 2 or 3 hours would be a perfect window.
All right, so if we're saying 2 hours, 2 hours I'm in. Like 2 hours I'm in. I think you're going to feel that, like Corporal said, I don't want to do anything for free.
Right.
2 hours, 2 to 3 hour window. But I love the idea that you tossed around, Rick, of completing a checklist of duties. So like maybe it's like 3 hours or as soon as you can complete these things, and they can just be just random off the wall things that are just super funny and super mortifying. So I'm voting yes. I'm voting yes.
All right.
And I think Corporal is a no, but it don't matter. But I'm curious.
No, this
I'm
is
curious,
something. This is something I would do. I think it's funny. I think it's something that definitely, like, having one of you guys record it for a little bit, get some content together. They think it'd be funny. There'll be some funny moments, whether it's with other workers or with the customers, that are going to happen. And, because at the end of the day, like, you're not going to take shit from somebody. I'm not worried about getting fired. So if somebody's being a dick, you fire back, and it's just going to be what it is. But yeah, I think it's a good one. I think that's something that, you can go get a Walmart vest off Amazon and go walk in there. You don't even have to ask for permission. They're going to be happy you showed up.
Just having the like a Best Buy, like, damn well they sell like a Best Buy polo out there, man. And you just throw on a pair of slacks and then just like go start assisting people looking for cell phones.
Go take your lunch in the break room.
That would have to be part of it, right? But that would have to be near the end, because you might actually get tossed at that point.
Yeah. We'll put some parameters on it, but I think that's a good one. I think it's funny, and there's, it'll be a memory, if nothing else, of like, hey, remember that time I went to Best Buy and worked there for free?
Oh man!
So that's a yes, Corporal.
Yeah. Let's
all right.
Put that on there.
Yeah, I love it. I do think Best Buy is probably the best option, because people there are actually trying to like get helped, instead of like at a grocery store, and like they're generally not looking for like customer service. But
I guarantee you, if you go to a Walmart in a uniform, nobody's gonna know that you work there or don't work there. Like when I worked there for the short period of time I was a cart guy for there, like my bosses didn't know me. Like I was just like, all right, I'm going to my car again, like whatever. Like, I went to Chili's and had a lunch during my shift. Like this is like the easiest job ever. Like they don't even know I'm here.
They don't know you. Like they got so many employees, they just don't even know who you are.
Yep.
All right. So we got something fun planned. We're going to add a little flavor, add a little spice, and we're going to do a prop bet draft. So when we were talking about Super Bowl, one of each of our favorite parts is the prop bets. So we said, what can we incorporate that's fun, that the listeners are going to love? And we decided to do a prop bet draft. So we're going to do 4 rounds, which means each of us will end up getting... No, my bad. We're going to do 3 rounds, and it's just going to be luck of the draw. It is going to be snake, and I know you're supposed to, before anyone starts hammering me, you're supposed to end snake in an odd round. I get it. I don't care. It's going to just be luck of the draw in terms of pick. So it'll be 3 rounds long. That means we'll each have 3 potential prop options. And then when we finish the draft, we are going to come and pick one of those for you to actually take to the window. And it will be based off one of the picks that we drafted. And then we're going to end it with our pick on the game. So we'll end the Gambling Gurus segment with our pick against the spread, which, based off some of the conversation earlier, I think may all be the same. So that's going to be a quick ending. But let's get it going in terms of the prop bet draft. Boys, any questions on the format? 3 rounds, luck of the draw. Any questions, and then we flip for order, or what?
Yeah, I'm good. I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
So what we'll do Corporal versus Rick on the first flip. Winner advances to the next round. Loser goes into the loser's bracket. All right, Corporal, you toss it. I mean, you call it.
Tails.
It is tails.
He won a bet.
There we go.
You have won a bet. All right, Rick, into the losers bracket. All right, Rick, I'll let you get the call on this one. And then if you lose this one, Rick, you're automatically third pick.
All right. I am going to go with heads.
It is tails again.
Damn.
Rick locked into third pick.
Let's go up pick number 3.
All right, Corporal. I will let you call it.
We're gonna go ahead.
So obviously, so if you win, you don't have to take first pick, but I just assume you will.
Yeah, I will. I'm going
All
head.
right. Okay. And it is heads.
All right.
So Corporal wins the coin flip for draft order. And Corporal, you did say you do want the first pick?
Yes, sir.
So the order is going to be Corporal Dunford Beach. Corporal, go ahead. Kick us off.
I think my favorite novelty Super Bowl bet, it's between two, but I think the one that I enjoy the most is something that like you don't know, and that's what Gatorade color. We can go back, we can look at the way we get to these answers, but we really don't know. It's one that we think we got an edge on or we don't have an edge on, but that's the number one pick that I'm going with is Gatorade color bet.
An absolute classic. A very deserving 1-1. I love the Gatorade bet. I love the random dude who says he knows someone who knows someone who's an equipment manager on the team, and he leaks out what color it's going to be. And you start having to be like, is this valid? Does this thing have legs? Yeah, I remember the one year with the Chiefs. I can't remember what Super Bowl, but it was like, it leaked out that it was going to be like purple. Yeah. And it was purple. And I was like, oh man, because purple is just never going to be a popular choice for me in terms of that. But great pick. Very, very deserving 1-1.
I was actually looking it up earlier, and the colors this year are orange, yellow, lime green, and blue.
Oh, so purple's not even in the running this year.
Nope.
My sources tell me it's blue.
Orange is the first. Orange is first.
Orange is the favorite?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I think orange has been the dominant winner if you look back at...
I think it was plus 260.
Yeah. My money's on blue.
It's a good pick. Good pick. All right. I will pick 102. It is a bet that I personally do every year. It is the coin toss bet, and specifically heads or tails. So it's just a pure degenerate bet. It's the first bet you can win or lose. I believe the coin toss is before the anthem, right? Or is it after? Is it coin toss anthem or anthem coin toss?
I think it's anthem coin toss.
Yeah, that's how I believe it is too.
Okay, so it's the second bet you can potentially start the day off with. It's an early bet. If you win, it sort of sets the tone for the day. You got an early win on most people in the room that are not betting the coin toss. And it's just a good chance to get those early bragging rights and the early positive cash flow. I literally bet it every year. I'm normally a heads guy. Unless the trend just gets too overwhelming, then you have to consider tails. So, but I'm taking coin toss with pick 102.
All right, with pick 103, I'm going to go with over-under on the time for the national anthem, which this year it's 119 and a half seconds.
Yeah, and I think that's the right 1, 2, 3. in whatever order you want to put it. But those are the 3 top novelty Super Bowl bets for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean the anthem bet is great because singers, like depending on the singer, you start building this like false sense of confidence, right? So like when I started looking at the anthem bet for this year, like Rick said, it's what 119, so basically just under 2 minutes, and it's Charlie Pugh. So he generally sings pretty slow, and I started looking at the trends. I'm on the over, which is separate of the point, but it's just a great bet. It's a fun bet every year. Good pick, Rick.
Thank you.
All right, Rick, it's you again. Snake draft.
All right. My next one is going to be, will there be a safety in the game? Yes or no? With two defensive teams, I think there's a definitely chance, and the safety bet is the safety bet is always a fun ass bet. And all the times that I've been to Vegas, one time for the Super Bowl, it was one of the most bets. And actually, though, the year that I was there, it actually hit, and my brother-in-law and a couple other people won a bunch of money. I didn't bet on it then, but I definitely will be throwing something down on it this year for yes.
Rick, this is completely off board for me. I didn't even have this one listed. It's a bet I've never done. I don't know. Corp, am I on an island? Is
No,
beach
is on the island. Beach is on the island.
Oh. I think Beach saw it hit and it just has that like favorable impression in his mind.
It's like when you win your first parlay and that's how you bet from now on.
Yeah. But to each their own, Rick. Good pick. My next pick that I'm gonna go with, and it's one of my favorites. It's gained popularity in recent years, but is the coach or player gonna cry during the anthem? So again, you're probably picking up on a theme here. I like getting that early money flowing. I want to build that positive bankroll to where I can fire some comfortable live bullets. So the more that I can potentially get up earlier, the bigger shots I can take. So coach or player crying during the anthem, to me, is just a classic. When Nick Sirianni was in the game, it was a mortal lock. But I love it. I look forward to it every year because they're panning down that line when that anthem starts going.
Oh yeah. That's one you typically see. It's an emotional time. It's like you're left with your thoughts. You kind of got to, soak it all in. These guys have been working so hard to get there, and sometimes they can't contain their emotions. All right, so I'm back on the clock here. Another one that's kind of gained popularity over the years. Definitely, as we saw some of these plays play out. But what I'm taking at the end of the second round here is over or under 2.5 passers in the game. Will there be 3 or more or 2 or less people throwing the ball forward? I think that's a fun one because we're always looking for that gimmick play, that trick play. And whether it's Julian Edelman or any of these guys in the past that have done it, the Philly special, like you got these plays, and I think that is one angle. It's not as specific, so if you could go with a lineman catching the ball or these other ones that are a little bit more specific to higher payout, I think this is one that both teams at any point could put this into their playbook and run this play. And so it's a very viable to win the bet. But I like this one. I think it's fun. I think that there's a lot of different possibilities of how you win this bet. But we know there's going to always be 2. So is there going to be a third one?
I like it.
I think it's a fun one, right? Because the more trick and potential gadget plays, it's just one of those exciting ones that it's easy to get the group. behind you on, right? It's what the people want to see. So it's just a fun conversational bet. I think it's a good pick.
All right, and my next one is a little bit more this game specific because I've been looking at it. It's a defensive game. What happens when you have defensive games? You get punts. The punts are set at about 7.5 punts expected for this game, which means there are about 7-8 punt returns. So the longest punt return yards for right now, I think it's set at 18 yards. And so over under on the longest punt return. This way, it gives you a little bit of action in these defensive struggled games where we're always want the offense. We want the offense, but to expect the offense when both teams have superior defenses, I think is foolish. But both coaches are willing to punt and play defense, which means opportunity to return the ball is going to be very high, and the guys returning the ball have been very capable of making returns.
Court, bad pick. I like the sell job, man. You're a hell of a sales guy. But watching punts or like having to care about punts is just not something I want to do in the viewing experience. That's for me personally. I'm curious what the listeners are going to think. I'm curious what Richard thinks.
No, I don't want to be betting on the over for punts. Absolutely not.
Well, not the over on punts, just the yardage, the longest yardage. So it would be like Shaheed has to break 18 yards on one punt return to win your bet. Kind of like
okay. Well, I mean, I don't want to be cheering for punts at all.
As an outside, like people are betting on MVPs and different things. Shaheed has like his numbers was at like 60-1, is dropped to like 30-1, and so he's somebody that people are going to be rooting for a lot of weird angles, and that's one of them. So I'm playing into that as much as he's explosive, and to get these opportunities, I don't want to expect offense from the offense and then be disappointed because there's another punt. Now every time a punt comes, I'm like, all right, here we go. And sometimes punts.
I like the angle. Like the more you talk about it, the more I like the angle. I don't know, dude. Maybe you might be able to get me there one day. Like it takes a boring part of the game and makes it interesting. So I like that aspect. Yeah, I think the only negative is like those punting moments are like your really good like conversation moments in the room. Like if you're watching the game with a group. So I think that's the potential negative there. All right, my last pick is going to be the first play result. So I bet this every year, whether it's going to be a pass or a run. So you're definitely picking up a theme with my draft. I like the early prop bets. I like getting that money flowing, building the bankroll, and the thought of the game being a just absolute moneymaker for me. Because live bet, one of the best parts of Super Bowl is betting live, right? Especially if you have a strong leading into the game and it doesn't go that way instantly, you can really capitalize with that positive line movement in your favor. So first play result, it's electrifying. The build up, it has everything you want in a bet. And trust me, I've won it, I've lost it, but if you do lose it, there will be the people that are like cheering against you too. So it's one of those things that gets the entire room pulling for and against you, depending if they are a hater or not.
Right.
All right, Rick.
All right. So for my last one, it was I wanted to go with just a normal one, but then I wanted to also go with another fun one. So I chose the last fun one, and it is each team to score a field goal and a touchdown in each half. And I think it's a great possibility that it can happen. It's a fun-ass bet, too. I mean, you're cheering for a field goal and a touchdown in each half from both teams. And the odds are high, too.
The field goal bets in general I feel the complete opposite from him off grip as the punt bets. Like the field goal bets, there's a lot of energy there because especially in this era of like it's fourth down and everyone wants to go for it. So like if you got money on the field goals, like it's just like, oh, it's like, come on, send the kicker out. Send the kicker out. Yes, he's out there. Now you need him to make it. So
Right.
I like the field goal angle, but there's nothing more devastating. Like if you got an over on the field goal prop, they actually send him out there to take the points, and the dude shanks. You're just like this cocksucker. Like,
I was looking
all
at
right,
other
so
bets.
that concludes the draft. Corporal, just give us a recap. What are your 3 picks, and then what is your recommended bet off those picks?
Okay, so Gatorade color, 2.5 passers, and longest punt return. My recommendation is going to be the longest punt return. I think this is factually going to happen, and I think it could happen multiple times from both sides. I think with having close to 7 returns in this game, the defenses are going to give the opportunity, and I think that we're going to see an explosive out of the punt return. So my one that I'm going with is longest punt return yards over 18.5 yards.
Over 18.5. You heard it from the Prowler. Court, while we're at it, give us your game pick too.
Well, I think got to make up some ground. Gotta get the win. Got to get back or into the win column. My angle has been the Patriots are going to win this game. Sam Darnold, maybe not going to pumpkin. He's going to throw a couple picks. There's going to be some Vrabel action. There's going to be Josh McDaniels play calling. I think that not only do the Patriots cover, but they win outright.
The Prowler picks.
Wow, an outright pick. For the sake of the show, we will put you down Pats plus 4.5. But way to put your nuts on the table there, bud. All right, Rick. If you can recap your 3 prop bet draft picks, and then what your recommended play is, one of those 3, and then end it out with your game picks.
All right, so my first one was the over under on the time for the national anthem, which this year it's 119.5 seconds. My second one was will there be a safety, and then my last one was each team to score 1 field goal and 1 touchdown in each half. And my one that I'm going to say to go with is the over on the national anthem, over 119.5 seconds. As you mentioned, Charlie Pugh sings very slow, so I think it's definitely going to go over. And then my pick for the game is the Pats plus 4.5.
Any color, or just basically just too many points to lay, or?
Yeah, I think it's too many points. The spread, it still hasn't moved since it opened. So, I mean, I think it's going to be Pat. And the public is about 60-40%. So that's a great sign. It's almost, half and half on the public. And I think that 40% is the Pats, but I'm going to go with Pats plus 4.5.
And just for clarity, you are on the Seahawks to win the game, though, right?
Yes.
All right. The King with the Seahawks to win the game, but the Pats to cover.
The Hardwood King.
The King's picks, baby. All right, just to recap my draft picks in the prop bet draft, which I am obviously very biased, and I definitely think I won that draft, hands down. But it's the coin toss, whether it's going to be heads or tails. Will a coach or player cry during the national anthem? And then the first play result, whether it will be a pass or a run. The one that I want you to take to the window, and it's going to be pretty close to even money. It's going to be minus 100 something. The exact money line doesn't normally come out till closer to within 24 or 36 hours to game time, just because they're trying to prevent inside information and all that stuff, any of the shady stuff from happening. So they hold this one closer to the vest. What I am recommending is to bet run. And I feel better about this than I have in the last 5 years for sure. So let me give you some good stats. So it has been run 4 out of the last 5 have went run. So I like the trend there. But I specifically like it for this game because we got 2 defensive head coaches. And I think with a defensive mindset, they don't want to take the risk of something catastrophic happening on the first play. So I think they'll both play it more conservatively, play calling wise, for the first series overall. But I definitely think they open with a run. They don't want to shoot themselves in the foot before the game hasn't even started. And the run play is a lower probability of a mistake. I feel really strongly about it. Run will be the first play in the Super Bowl. My take for the game is, like I said, no surprises based off the earlier dialogue. I'm on the Pats plus the points. So Pats plus 4.5. As far as, I just think it's too many points. I think this is a field goal game either way. I think you could see lead changes in the fourth quarter. I definitely think it's going to be back and forth game throughout. I think Seattle is the favorite for good reason. I think they got an absolute stacked defense. I give them the edge on defense. I give them the edge in the backfield with Walker over Stevenson. But quarterback, I guess I'm the Sam Darnold hater. But Drake May over Darnold all day. I don't think Drake May could have played worse than he did in Denver. So I think this is Drake May's chance. There's the average fan still doesn't know who Drake May is. So this is his chance to be like, I have arrived. Like us football junkies, we know Drake May. But Rhonda, who's watching her first football game of the season this Sunday, she has no clue who Drake May is. And after this game, he has the chance to become a household name across the country. So I'm split on who actually wins the game. Gun to my head, I'm going Hawks to win, Pats to cover. But I will not be surprised either way. I think we are in store for an absolute hell of a football game. And I am jacked. I think it's one of the best matchups we've had in the last decade. All right. So now we are shifting into our second segment of the show. This is our Alphas in Action segment. So we are going to kick this segment off with our question of the week.
Question of the week.
So the question of the week is what we think that the listeners are dying to know. This is the water cooler talk. This is the talking to your buddy at happy hour. This is the group text hot topic of the week. And I will kick us off. I think I have a fantastic question. I cannot wait to hear what you guys think. So Mike Vrabel, when he was on Bustin' with the Boys a while back, said he would chop off his dick to win a Super Bowl as a head coach. So my question of the week to you fellas is there anything in life that would be worth it to you to chop your dick off for?
Did you hear the follow up that Vrabel said? He said, "You know what? I meant I'd only chop half off, so I'd have 6 inches."
Yeah, he said still leave her with 6.
Yeah, great line, great line. No, there's absolutely nothing in the world worth. I mean, and outside of like saving my children's lives, like up against that, then I mean, whatever. I'm forced to do something I don't want to do. No, there's other ways of getting it done. You can't. I mean, I can't think of anything that I mean is more valuable than my penis, and it's just one of those things. I might not be a teenager anymore. I'm not just running around swinging dick, but man, to not have it anymore, I'm not the same. I'm not the same dude. I'm
So it's a no unless you had to chop your dick off to save your kids' lives.
yeah, that's pretty much the only thing is life saving dick chopping.
Yeah, like in this hypothetical, would your will to live be greatly diminished afterwards?
Yeah, I mean, especially if it's public knowledge that had to happen. Like I made the front page of the paper or the news. I'm on there like Channel 7, like, yeah, I had to do it to save my kids, but you know, yeah. Peeing's a little different.
And then you just know everyone would be like, that dickless bastard.
Yeah. They'd be like, do you have balls or is it all gone?
Can you still nut?
It'd be devastating.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything worth chopping your dick off for either. I mean, like Corp said, having to save his kids' lives. I mean, if I had to save, I don't have kids, but if it was to save the life of a family member, then yeah, I would do it. But yeah.
This is an absolute hell no for me, dog. I am just not willingly chopping my cock off. And I started thinking of all the potential hypotheticals. And like there would have to just be so many layers and guarantees for me to even consider it. Like I would have to like be able to live as long as I wanted to with unlimited money and resources for my entire life. And
have no dick.
And then just pray with the advancement of technology that I could get like a robot dick that would actually work and you could still like blow a load with. So it's like it just would be getting into like that level. And yeah, so I just think I think it's a no, but with those layers, it's a potentially a maybe, but there's too many hypotheticals to go down that rabbit hole. So it is just a
It's a no for me, dog.
It's a no for me, dog.
No for me as well.
Yeah, I'm out on cutting my dick off.
What do you guys think about those caveats that I put on there, though? Like, would that change you potentially? Because, like I said, I started thinking about, like, is there, like, getting, like, real crazy with the thought process. Like, living as long as you want with as much money as you want and then, like, just hoping for the advancements in technology. Does that sway you at all under this type of hypothetical instead of, like, you guys both gave, like, real-life situations where you would, but, like, fantasy situations, does like, that change it for you?
Not really. I mean, at the end of the day, like part of life is the small enjoyments, and my dick is a part of that small enjoyment. And to lose that, it takes away like so much of the greatest thing of life.
That is definitely what she said, specifically around small enjoyments there, brother. You walked right into that one. Thank you very much. So now you have to caveat it to your question of the week after that small enjoyment.
All right. So, other small enjoyments. What's the best place to watch the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, this is a great question because there's a lot of different options, right? So you can have the house party that you attend. You can have the house party that you host. You could go to a bar or a restaurant. You could watch it at a sports book. You could travel for like a Las Vegas type Super Bowl party. So many different options at the disposal. For me, my preference is on the house party end. So I'm definitely going house party. If I had to pick one, it's going to be a house party that I host. And that's just for the selfish logistics of I get to plan the menu, right? So I get to dictate or pick the appetizers. I get to pick the main course, whether we're going to go wings or subs or pizza or what, or some type of meat. Like all that I get control of when I have the house party at my house. And that's all stuff I have to relinquish control of if I attend someone else's house party. And then the other big one, uh, as a guy that likes to have some adult beverages, is you don't have to factor in the who's driving home. You don't have to factor in babysitters. There's just a lot of other things that go into the like benefits of having it at your house. Obviously, the biggest negatives for hosting a Super Bowl party at your house is cleanup, and then you're going to spend more money than anyone there. But the positives far outweigh the negatives. Give me house party that I am hosting.
For me, it would be somewhere else, a house party. I don't got to worry about doing anything. As long, hopefully, they have a good lineup of food, obviously, and preferably it would be at a house. When actually this will be the. I mean, I don't go to a house party every year, but been going to a place with my dad for the last. This will be year 18 in a row that we went. We've missed 1 year when my dad was in Florida, so been going to the Moose for this. Like I said, this will be the 18th year in a row.
Yeah, so just to give the listeners some background, Rick goes to a place, but it's not really a bar. It's like a social club. So the vibes are house party vibes, right, Rick? Like potluck, all
Yeah, it's a
that.
potluck, and then they have squares, card games. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's always the same. I mean, it's like you said, it's a social club type thing, and it's the same people every year.
Yeah, and I think my point of view is less about where I'm at and who I'm there with. And when you're watching a game, at my brother's-in-law's, it's all the kids are there. People are talking through the game. I'm trying to watch the game. It's not as enjoyable. When you're around a bunch of degenerate gamblers and we got cash out and we're yelling at each other every play. I got five on the. They're gonna run it. I got okay. I'll take that, and we're going back and forth. When we're at you've done it a couple times at house parties where everybody's getting lubricated and we're talking. The game starts. Okay, coin toss. We're throwing money down. All right, anthem. Okay, we're going back and forth, and then for the first quarter, we stretch out until the money is kind of starts to slow down, and people are like, okay, the game's on. When you're watching a team that you enjoy, to be around the opposite side can be infuriating. If I'm a Seahawks fan and I'm rooting for the Seahawks, and everybody I'm with is rooting on the Patriots, it's not as enjoyable. You need to at least be 50-50. But if the Lions were in the Super Bowl, I want to be with Lions fans. I don't want to be with the opponent's fans. So the people you're with make up that party so much more than where you're at. If I'm at Buffalo Wild Wings, I can order what I want. I can figure it out. My house, their house, whatever. But if I'm with people that don't care about the game from a betting point of view, it just brings down the quality of the enjoyment. If everybody's more worried about the commercials than the punt return, then I'm with the wrong people.
So your final answer is, and I love the answer, but so it's the company you're with is more important. I like there's definitely validity to that. But if you have to pick ideal location, like you have to pick one location with your ideal cast, where's the location?
I like someone else's house so that way I can leave when everybody else is intoxicated. The game's over. So someone else is hosting the party, and then order up some food and let's get it done that way. Um, in the
You
future, go ahead.
no, that's just an underrated angle though, because when you're the host, you're gonna have people stay beyond the game. So it's like when you go to someone else's house, you control when the hell you want to get out of there. So that definitely is an underrated part that I know.
When you lose your bet and everybody else won their bets and they're having a great time, you just want to fucking go. And then you're at home and everybody's over and they're celebrating. You want to get the fuck out of here. And it's just
All right, Richard, what do you have for us? Week?
So my question of the week is, what is the most iconic Super Bowl moment?
no, okay.
Well,
I'll jump. Go ahead.
yeah, and I was gonna let you go because I definitely think there's one on everyone's brain, and I'm assuming you're gonna take it. So I did have a backup.
Yeah, so I have two, but the one that I remember from a youth that is like iconic that like
Okay, well mine.
what? Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, Court.
Yeah,
Yep.
So what I'm thinking is Kevin Dyson when he was 1 yard short of winning the Super Bowl. It was the Titans game, I believe, and he reaches out and the ball is just a yard short.
Yeah.
And I will never forget that watching that Super Bowl, like seeing it live and just being like, man, that guy was so close. And then everybody celebrating around him. And that moment is like embedded in my memory as like, that's how close football games win and lose. And they got to that point. I thought they were going to win. I was rooting for them. It was my Madden team for the last couple of years. And so I thought that, I was on the right side. I was rooting for them from a fan's perspective, younger kid. And to see them come up short like that was just like, I'll never forget it as far as if I ever reach out for something and I'm short, that's the moment I think of.
So mine was obviously probably what you thought, Sean. The Brady comeback down from 28-3, and the first Super Bowl overtime. Actually, it was when I became I was sick of Brady. Like I was sick of him always being there, and when that happened, I never stopped being a fan since. I mean, it was fucking fantastic. I still remember that year being at the Moose too, when they were down 28-3. Some random lady was like, "Oh, you can never count Brady out. He's gonna come back." And everybody's like, "Oh yeah, right, whatever." And then sure enough,
I remember most of Super Bowls pretty vividly just because of my betting and the people that I've been able to watch the games with and the good times that we have had. But I do remember that 28-3 vividly because I had a lot of money on the Pats in that Super Bowl. And we were at our buddy Hudson's house. And I left. Dude. I was Corporal. I was the bitter better. My early prop bets didn't go my way. And I was pounding the Patriots live. Despite of it, I had the Patriots pregame. I had them every which way. And I was like, this game is over, man. So I left and actually finished the comeback off at my house, which was just, I regret that. So now I'm a stay till the end guy, regardless after that. So Tom Brady changed how I watch any type of big game after that one. But that wasn't actually my moment. My moment that I think is the most iconic moment in Super Bowl history was Patriots Seahawks from the 1 yard line. Seahawks punch it in. They win the Super Bowl. And Pete Carroll and company making the worst call in sports history and not giving the ball to beast mode, and Malcolm Butler coming up with that pick. That was just an absolutely unbelievable moment. I was on the Pats in that game, so it was a complete eruption when he picked that ball off. But that was just one where the whole room, whether you were Patriots, Seahawks, like it was just an unbelievable moment. And it was one of those like bigger than life sports moments that I'll never forget where I was, who I was with, the reactions in the room. And it's just one of those like the game came down to one play, similar to Corporal's. It's one of those one play to win the game type moments that just are etched in your brain forever.
Another good mention would be the Manningham helmet catch at midfield.
Oh, well, no, it was Tyree off the helmet, Manningham on the sideline.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, those are both two crazy plays as well. That the Tyree catch was definitely more Tyree. The Manningham on the sideline, like that was one of the greatest throws I ever seen. Like Eli dropped that in on a dime. That was just an absolute unbelievable throw. Shout out Mario Manningham, Michigan man, go blue.
And I got one more. I'll never forget it when Peyton Manning was in shotgun, and I think it was like the first play of the game, and the snap went over his head, and then Seattle went on to win. Right? Is that's the Manning over the head snap?
Yeah,
like, it was just like, oh, that was that was like, man, that's a tough way to go, and then it just kind of snowballed out of.
That started an absolute onslaught. My honorable mention, and I won't get too deep in the weeds on it, but my honorable mention, if you guys took the Butler pick, was Desmond Howard with the kickoff return touchdown. Another Michigan man, shout out Desmond, go blue. But that was one of the ones like early on in my childhood. Like that was such a pivotal moment in the game. Like I remember that the game was, they cut the game close. So I believe they brought it within a touchdown and less than a touchdown. I think it was like 27-21. And then bam, Desmond returns the kick, and then you knew that they were on their way to Favre getting his first and only Super Bowl. But I remember that as a kid. Like that one is just, I'll never forget. It's one of my most vivid ones from when I was younger. All right, shifting into our next segment in the Alphas in Action.
Weekly recommendation.
The recommendation of the week. All right, Corporal, kick us off. What is your recommendation of the week?
So my rec is going to be the Yuka app. Probably said Yuka or Yucca, depending on what location you're in. But this app allows you to be in a grocery store, be at home, and scan the barcode, and it gives you a bunch of the ingredients, harmful additives, other ingredients that you don't typically see in that little nutrition facts. And so through my experience raising 4 kids is they never get to choose what's in their body. And for the first, 10 years, I'm picking their meals. I want them to have the best setup for success. And this app allows you to choose correctly. I mean, we changed our bread. You're wondering, why are there harmful additives in creamer? Well, they put white food coloring in it. And so you start finding all these things that you're just like poisoning yourself. And so being able to better help myself and my family through this app has really kind of opened the door to things. And there are definitely some learning curves and like, okay, well, everything, it sucks, but I want ranch because ranch is awesome at certain times. It goes great with this or that. But then you can start to find things that work for you. And this app it's a free app available in the App Store. And it's all you have to do is scan the barcode, and it'll tell you all these different additives. Really helps with being healthy to the elite level.
I personally had never heard of it. There's definite value there, right? Like, the reality is, I think it's like more of probably everything has stuff in it that's terrible for you, but the more knowledge, the better, right? You can just make better decisions more consistently and be just more in the know. This is one of those like don't be a sheep type things. Uh and knowledge is power. So I haven't heard of it. I haven't used it obviously, but I'm definitely intrigued.
Me
Yeah,
as well.
it's something that you start using it, and then it kind of you open up these doors, and it's like, okay, like we can get the same cereal for our kids without harmful additives. We can get the same bread for our kids without harmful additives. We can do the same meals, chicken nuggets, all these things, but we get the ones that aren't harmful added. And now it's like one step to being healthier.
Yeah, no, I like it. I think it's a good recommendation. It's actionable. It's one of
Yeah.
those things that the listeners can take, add value, tangible thing that can make their life better. Rick, what do you got for the listeners?
So my recommendation of the week is 11/22/63 on Netflix, which the date is the day that JFK was assassinated. The 8 episode miniseries is based on Stephen King's novel. Stars James Franco. It's basically about his character is a school teacher that befriends a local diner and learns that the guy has a time portal that you can go back in time in his restaurant. And the restaurant owner ends up getting sick, and he chooses James Franco that he wants to go back. He wants him to go back in time and change history and to stop the assassination at JFK. It's a great mini series on one of the biggest stories in American history. You can catch it over on Netflix, and it's kind of interesting that the show, for all you conspiracy theories out there, the show came out at the same time as a lawsuit was ruled in court like a week later after the series came out on Netflix about how there was, I guess, some other guy that was filming on the grassy knoll, and they said with advancement of technology, the guy's family said that they think that the advancement in technology, AI and forensic, they can analyze the film for hidden details that can prove that there was a second shooter.
Yeah, so I don't know nothing about the last part that you just said, but I have watched this and it is absolutely phenomenal. Now, full disclosure, I am a bit of a history nerd, but this is a great series. Franco is unbelievable in it. It tells you don't have to be a history person to enjoy this. It's
Right.
got something for the sci-fi people. It's got something for the history people. It's got something for the conspiracy people. This is a awesome series. If you have not seen it, watch it immediately. Corp, have you seen it?
I have not. We're running through a different show on Netflix, and that's really my only TV time outside of sports watching. And so it'll be on the docket as I'll mark it as next up to kind of start it off when we're done with the current show we're on.
Yeah, you have to, man. Like,
If
highly recommend.
it's in my wheelhouse, I love the history stuff. I love when they.
It's a slam dunk for you, dude. Like, it's got
Yeah.
every aspect that you
Yeah, it's awesome.
like. You are gonna like it. Definitely a great recommendation by Rick. My recommendation, keep it on the show end. Like, let's be honest, we are in the dog days of winter, and after Sunday, there is going to be no more football. So you may find yourself watching more TV outside of sports than you were watching for the last 4 months. My recommendation, I know I'm late on this, but I just wrapped up season 5, which is the final season this week. It's Boardwalk Empire on HBO Max. So Steve Buscemi just absolutely unbelievable in the show. He plays Nookie Thompson, just one of those names you won't ever forget. It's about the prohibition area and the bootlegs and the gangsters and the rise of the modern mob and the crime families and all of that stuff. It centers around Nookie Thompson's operation in Atlantic City. But just, yeah, so if you're into history, if you're into anything mob related, if you're into action with a great storyline that has historical meaning, accuracy, and references, this is great. Like, it has Al Capone and Lucky Luciano and all these other notorious gangsters, and it really tells that story from the Atlantic City kingpin perspective. It is phenomenal. There's 5 seasons. It is definitely one of those shows that you will binge. I am a big believer The Sopranos is the greatest series of all time. And this is definitely, it's not as good as Sopranos, but it is definitely in the same breath and conversation, which is just the highest praise that I can potentially give.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's a phenomenal show.
You will not regret it. Start it. Thank me later. The only thing you might be mad at is like you are going to be less productive while you're binging this show.
I've heard great things about it.
So, all right, boys, we are getting ready to close things out with our last segment of the show. It's Power Stance time.
Power stance.
Power Stance. Man, I love that drop. I think, you know what I think we could do? Like, we could definitely do like an O'Doyle's rules with that drop where all of our, where all 3 of us are just like, Power Stance. We just start chanting it. All right, so just to refresh the listeners, it's a non-sports, non-politics, non-religion, matter of fact. This is not an opinion. You can simply agree with it or be wrong. Beach, Young Richard, the King, the Bear, Mr. Hardwood, Dickie Beach. We're going to have you kick us off. What is your power stance of the week?
All right, so my power stance of the week, being that we're based, in the Midwest and we're in Michigan, winter is winter. It's a hard fucking pass on the random warm-up days that lead to the crazies walking around in shorts and celebrating for 1 to 2 days. Leave it cold until spring. No random bullshit, no bipolar weather. I don't want none of that shit. And then it's a giant dick tease, man. It's like you're at work and your wife or your girlfriend sends you a text message and then she sends you a picture. Hey, check out my new lingerie outfit. Do you like it? And then you're like, yeah, fuck yeah, I like it. And then she sends another message like, oh, well, you're not going to see that for another 3 months. And then you're just fucking left with fucking bipolar bullshit. So stay cold until the spring. Winter is winter, baby.
Yeah, 90 days. No, that's fire. That's fire take. Love the energy by the King. Bring in the heat. Corporal, what do you got for us?
All right. Talking on speakerphone in public is rude and only done by assholes. No one wants to hear your conversation. Your convenience is a nuisance to everyone else. Put the phone to your ear or get some earbuds. No one cares what you have to say to your girl, to your friend. Get off speakerphone. You're in public.
Just another great absolute power stance. Speaker in public is despicable. And I will end us with the Dun Diesel power stance of the week. And my power stance is this. Bad Bunny sucks dick. This guy is terrible. His music sucks. His dancing sucks. Everything about him sucks. Anyone that listens to this guy and enjoys him, you suck. A non-English halftime show will go down as the worst idea in show in Super Bowl history. I don't care how much he streamed. Those numbers are inflated by the rest of the world. Those numbers are not reflected by the majority who thinks this is going to be an absolute abysmal disaster of a Super Bowl performance. I will be turning the TV off and taking a dump during halftime instead of watching that garbage that Bad Bunny's going to put out there on the TV during the Super Bowl. Bad Bunny blows. So that is all we have for you guys for this week. We appreciate you joining us on this ride. We will continue to take Alpha's talk, Beta's walks to the moon. I'm your host, Dun Diesel, signing off for episode 4. Woo!